I know I just posted a haul, but that was from BEA. This is from A Lack of Impulse Control. Hello, my name is Kat and this is my June book haul. I have 13 books to show you guys today, so let's get on with it. We're starting with the BOOKSPLOSION Book of the Month pick for June, which is The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman. We're working with Random House on this one and I am so excited to reread this book because I have already read it, but that was like, oh boy, I want to say at least 15 years ago. So it's been a while. It's time for a reread. I don't remember many details, but I do remember really enjoying it. And when I read it back in the day, I wasn't aware that it was the first book in a trilogy. So I never read the other two books, and I really want to do that. Especially because Philip Pullman is coming out with a new book in the series later this year. So this is like the perfect time to reread this book and make my way through the rest of the series. So yeah, if you're interested in joining us for this read along this month, all of the details you need are down below. The next book I have here is No Good Deed by Goldie Modolsky, and I received this copy from Scholastic, who I'm working with this month. And can we just take a second to appreciate how cool this book looks? Like, the cover has some cool like gloss action. The end pages are awesome. And look at that, look at that, look at this book. It's just so cool. This book takes place at a summer camp of sorts that is geared toward teen activists who want to make a difference in the world. All the kids have different interests and like different campaigns that they want to promote to like do good in the world, and it's all fun and games until a competition is announced and things get ugly. I am so into this premise. Like, it sounds hilarious, and like I can already imagine all the hijinks of these teenagers like trying to do the most good by sabotaging each other. I'm in. It sounds fantastic, and you know, bonus points for the awesome cover. Next up, I have here Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. I can't really say much about this book. Like, it's the second installment in the Dark Artifices. That's really all I can tell you. I have already read it and I loved it, and I cannot wait for the third installment, even though we have to wait like 2 years because the first book in her next series is coming out before the third one of this one. It's very complicated. If you are unfamiliar with the Shadowhunter books, don't start with this. Definitely don't start with this. You gotta go back to the beginning, man, but it's worth it. Once you catch up, you get real good stuff like this one. The next book I have here gives me so many emotions, and that is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, the paperback edition. I know the hardcover is like sitting right above my shoulder there, but look at this cover! It's really rare for me to find a cover with faces on it aesthetically pleasing, but this cover pleases me greatly. Look at my babies. Look at my precious small children. I love it. I love it. If I haven't already convinced you to pick up Carry On, the new paperback cover is like the last straw for you. Get this book. Read it. Love it, but not as much as I do. I don't think that's possible anyways, but like, I'm just warning you. Next up, I have here We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, the deluxe edition. And when they say deluxe, they really mean it. Like, this is just a quality book. Ooh, there's like a bunch of exclusive content. I like it. So for those of you who maybe weren't around at this time, We Were Liars was a BOOKSPLOSION Book of the Month a couple years ago, and oh man, what a book. I don't think I can adequately describe this book to you, so I'm gonna go ahead and link my videos from before talking about this book if you want to know a little bit about it. But E. Lockhart is definitely one of those authors where I feel like it's better to go into the book not knowing a whole lot. And that's kind of scary to do at first, but like, at least for me at this point, E. Lockhart has earned my trust. This book is just so compelling and mysterious, and it's definitely the kind of book that you can reread. In fact, I feel like I might give this a reread pretty soon here. Now that I have this fancy new edition. Next up, I have here One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. We kind of have a trend here, like lying is just hot this season. This is a standalone contemporary thriller, and it sounds awesome. It's about these 5 high school students from different cliques who all end up in detention together, and one of them doesn't make it out alive. And according to investigators, this death was not an accident. The murdered student actually ran a gossip app and was planning to unleash a bunch of juicy secrets about the other 4 people who he happened to be in detention with. So they're all suspects. So yeah, this just sounds like a fantastic thriller slash mystery, and I'm really looking forward to giving it a go. The next book I have here, I really didn't need to buy, but it was too cool to resist, and that is the Polish version of The Call by Pater O'Gillen. Now, I loved The Call, but I can't read Polish. Like, the only reason I bought this book is because there's a little blurb in here that has my name. I believe it says that this book is recommended by the YouTubers Katytastic, JesseTheReader, polandbananasBOOKS. Cause yeah, we read this for BOOKSPLOSION last fall, and I guess when they printed the Polish version, they put our names in there, and that's so cool. I had to buy a copy. Next up, I have here Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. This is the sequel to This Savage Song and the conclusion to this duology. Now, I actually haven't yet read This Savage Song, but I love Victoria Schwab's books. Like, I love her writing and her worlds and her characters. So yeah, of course I picked this one up. Now I can marathon them, which I feel is the proper way to read duologies and most trilogies. You gotta marathon that ish. The next book I have here is Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Seanan McGuire. I don't know whether to call this book a sequel or a prequel, but it is a companion to Every Heart a Doorway, which I read earlier this year and I loved. I'll link the wrap-up where I talk about that down below if you want to know more about the premise there. I don't really want to say what this one is about because I don't want to spoil the first one, but I am very much looking forward to reading it. The first book was so good. I loved the world and just the language and the imagery that this author uses. It's gorgeous. These books are entirely too thin, but I loved the first one, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love this one. I'm really excited to read it. The next book I have here is The Love Interest by Cale Dietrich. This is a book I have been anticipating for so long. I talked about it at the beginning of the year in my most anticipated releases of 2017 video, and it's finally here in my hands. This book is about this organization that cultivates teenage spies, and they're known as love interests because their goal is to get close to people who are destined for greatness or who will soon be in power. Then we have this girl who the organization has deemed important, so it sends in 2 of its best spies to try to win her heart, and the boy who wins her love gets to live, and the other one is gonna die. However, it does kind of sound like maybe our 2 spies are going to fall for each other, and that's just the best. I'm so excited to read this. Next up, I have here I Believe in a Thing Called Love by Maureen Gu. This is, I believe, a standalone contemporary novel. It's about a teenage girl who is super unlucky in love. Like, she's kind of a disaster in the romance department. But when the hottest guy ever walks into her life, she is determined to up her flirting game. And her method for doing this is by studying K-dramas and using lessons from the dramas IRL. As someone who loves Korean dramas, like, This book sounds amazing. It sounds cute and funny, and oh my goodness, I am so excited to see how we play with like the K-drama tropes, and I'm into it. I'm real into it. The next book I have here is Want by Cindy Pon. I believe this is the first book in a series. It's set in a futuristic world where there is a huge divide between the wealthy and the poor. Our main character is determined to change things no matter the cost. So he starts to infiltrate the lives of the wealthy in order to destroy them from within. So yeah, it sounds awesome and action-packed, and I personally have a particular love for like futuristic cyberpunk type stories. So yeah, this is right up my alley. And finally, I have here Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. This is about a teenage girl who, in the real world, she's shy and she doesn't really have any friends, but online, she is the creator of one of the most popular webcomics ever. Then the most well-known fanfiction writer of her webcomic. Like, her webcomic is so popular, it has fanfiction writers, and the most popular of these writers ends up transferring to her school, and story kind of goes from there. I adore books that focus on fandom or like creating stories, so this sounds fantastic, and I of course had to buy myself a copy. It sounds relatable and adorable, and there's illustrations inside too, which is a nice selling point for me. I'm planning to read it real soon. Okay, that's it. Those are all the books I had to haul for this video today, so that's gonna do it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great night, and I will have another one up soon, so I will see you then. Goodbye! I'm so sweaty!